AlphaNerds.online. Inherit the Earth.
All right, good evening, listeners. Nash Carey and his wife is here.
Hello.
How are you guys doing tonight? Look, guys, I've gone through the last two episodes. I'm not really happy with some of the way things sounded. Really mechanical, non-organic, highly scripted, very difficult to kind of get into, especially on the conversational end. So I'm going to go ahead and do this a little bit differently we have before. First, I'm going to lay out what the show's going to have in store, and then I'm going to throw out the text lines, and I'll continue to do those phone numbers and ways for you to reach the show all the way through this whole experience. But then we're just going to kind of try to keep it organic, kind of try to keep it real, keep it natural, and hopefully we'll get some calls. So nobody likes to talk to somebody who's mechanical and, got that big radio DJ voice that tried to be too Joel Osteen because of this Christian content. That's what was happening here. I was starting to sound like, hello, well, this is about your relationship with God. And I just wasn't going to do that. It sounds like garbage. It sounds stupid to me.
I honestly didn't think you were going that route.
It felt really awkward to me. And I didn't like how I was sounding very unnatural, in my opinion. Okay, so first off, guys, if you want to go ahead and call the show, the number is 405-534-4747. Again, that number is 405-534-4747 if you want to text. And toss a text in, we'll go ahead and identify you from the area code you're texting from. But just go ahead and text us at 405-896-2865. And if you're not listening to this show, and this goes for any time, if you're not listening to this show live, the way you can contact us and have some discussion with us in between the times that we broadcast on Wednesday nights at 9 o'clock Central are to email us. And just email me at nashc, N-A-S-H-C, at AlphaNerds.online. All right. So, it's been a busy week for us. It's already 15 days into the new year. We've had a very unusual seasonal heat wave after a very blissful, beautiful snow day on Sunday. It's been a very unusual week as my wife is going back to school now, and I will be starting seminary right after Martin Luther King Day. So I have some things that have been going on in my life. It's time to kind of talk about with everybody else. And I want to pay tribute to a very special and powerful person in my life, Dr. John Cameron Starkey. He, if you were listening last week, I told you that somebody wasn't well, and it was putting a lot of stress on Annie and I as we were caring for him, and we just wanted the best for him. Well, unfortunately, Dr. Starkey, my professor, mentor, friend, passed away on Sunday morning. I'm still like in this weird days right now trying to process a lot of that. And when it's a theologian friend, a lot of the things that you've talked about over the last couple of years all of a sudden just start popping into your head, almost like some sort of divine calling to say, this is a moment that you need to keep in that brain of yours for as long as you can about this man. He was a brilliant man, but bigger than his brain was his heart. The man had a level of compassion that was second to no one's. He lived and behaved his true, authentic self. There was no pretending with Dr. John Starkey. It just wasn't in him. He was who he was, true and true, top to bottom. And it made him endearing. And he was a very important person, in my life at least. Annie just got to know him, and we had our first class together with him as the instructor last term.
Yeah, I don't even know what to say about it. Dr. Starkey was the kind of person that you were, or at least for me, my type, my behavioral type. I was scared to talk to him. He was just so intelligent, and it just poured out of him. But as soon as you did start talking to him, you relaxed. You just knew that he would take care of you and take care of your heart and take care of your soul and take care of your mind. And there was no judgment. And me being who I am, I'm so shy that he knew that, and he took it easy on me, and he made it easier. He had a big heart.
Yes, he did. I wrote a little something for him. I actually wrote some of this the day before he passed, but I actually want to put a voice to it, because I didn't know how much he meant to me until I started writing it. And then when I was reading it, I only heard my voice behind it, and it meant a lot to me. And I want to say it like I'm saying it in a way to him. Oh. Okay. In the middle of last semester, Dr. Starkey was raving how strong the students looked in getting their senior papers done. He used an analogy that a student's time at Oklahoma City University can be like a marathon. He said this year, everyone was looking very strong to the finish. His health was failing, but he was thrilled to watch us reach the finish line. This journey started for me about 18 months ago, as I felt good at assisting him on trips to the cancer center after class. I was a student, an older student, but still a student. I felt this was nothing major. Just a couple of guys who loved to chat about theological topics. The first time was because a gadget had broken, and that needed to be replaced for his treatment. As time went by, we built a great relationship that I feel would not have occurred if I was not an unusually old student and Dr. Starkey a hyper-compassionate man. But during that new relationship, I made sure that I'd never cross the line, and I would never call him anything other than Dr. Starkey. He was casual enough, but I'll never call him John. There was a certain dynamic that I would honor and never cross, because along the way, I never stopped learning. The word doctor has roots from Latin and said to mean teach or to teach. And Dr. Starkey never stopped teaching. He'll always be Dr. Starkey. I felt late in the semester, as he tried to hide some of his physical declines, he continued to appreciate that I continued to look up to him with admiration. It was hard to hold that look in my eyes when I looked at him, but I knew he needed that from me. Along the way, he was grading papers, giving classes, right up until the moment he put my robe on my back at Vesper's graduation ceremony to symbolize my finishing the race. I was becoming a graduate of Wimberley School of Religion, a place he had been a fixture for decades. Vespers was not a last major act for Wimberley, but a reality he was never ready to let go of. He told Gene Rainbolt days before the end of his life that he was still an instructor at OCU, and the truth was, he was. His role never ended. The community of OCU is unparalleled in love and dignity, and being able to close them with be closer to him and with them in this moment was a blessing for me and my family. I cannot say enough good things about Dr. Starkey. No one can. But everyone who has ever known him will know what a treasure of a being his memory holds. He thought his students were running a marathon and that we were coming in strong to the finish, but he crossed the end of this marathon with us. All of us made sure of that. My experience at Oklahoma City University is certainly unduplicatable, but so is Dr. Starkey. He really is a man like none other. If you have a call that you would like to make about Dr. Starkey before we start talking about one of our favorite topics, and that's Star Trek politics, we invite you to go ahead and give us a call. That number is 405-534-4747. Again, that's 405-534-4747. Is it feeling a little weird at school without Dr. Starkey at OCU?
Well, today, honestly, I saw 3 men that had gray hair the same height, and I had to do a double take. And it feels empty. You know, I'm used to seeing them walk across the hall several times, greeting people and saying hi and having conversations that last past what some should.
Yeah, you're like looking at your
gotta
watch.
Get to class, Dr. Starkey. I gotta get to class.
I do have other classes, yeah.
But it just feels empty and just sad. And when you walk outside and you see a tree or the sky, and you know that he would enjoy it and just take the time to enjoy it. So it kind of makes you want to, not to sound too sentimental, I guess, but it kind of just makes you want to stop and just say, you know, this is what we need to do. But yeah, so it does.
It's been a rough time for the whole Oklahoma City University and Wimberley School of Religion. As a staple or a piece of the furniture that's been there for a very long period of time is just no longer there. It's left that sense of emptiness. It's interesting when these types of transitions go on in life. Doesn't look like we're going to get a call, so I'll begin to make my transition towards the next topic. But the reason I brought up Dr. Starkey was he was a mentor, just like many of other mentors I've had along the way, one of which, again, I'll mention in the first episode, was Captain Jean-Luc Picard. Men like that, with their deontological and categorical imperatives towards, you know, the greater things, and especially when it came with some of their more empirical directives. You just loved the class that both a person like John Starkey as well as Captain Jean-Luc Picard can provide. Picard's coming back in a new TV show called Star Trek Picard, airing January 23rd on CBS All Access. And this show, based into the future of what was once the Star Trek's Next Generation's captain. It's kind of like a story to kind of fill the gap of what has happened since we last left that crew in the movies with Nemesis, after Jean-Luc Picard blew up his clone and Data went with him.
I'm sorry, that was never mind. Not the Data part, the clone part. It sounded funny.
Yeah. Well, guys, we're gonna give a moment for that to transition. We're gonna see